Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a bit of a detour, away from the usual suspects, and we're zooming in on Utrecht.
Yeah, a city that often gets, overshadowed by Amsterdam, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's so crucial. Historically, culturally, and even today, it's like the operational heart of the Netherlands. So our mission today is to really dig into what makes Utrecht tick. Find those aha moments.
Right.
We know the basics. Fourth biggest city, about 360,000 people, massive transport hub. But how does a place with, 2,000 years of history?
Yeah, deep roots.
Also manage to be this, super forward-thinking place for sustainability and research? That's the puzzle we're trying to solve.
It's a great focus because Utrecht's story isn't just a side note, it's foundational in so many ways. It's all about smart pivots and, strategic importance right from the start.
Okay, so you mentioned strategic importance. Let's start there. Way back.
Yeah.
What was its first identity? What was it even called?
Okay, so we're talking Roman times, around 47 CE. The Romans set up a fort right on the Rhine.
A fort. Why there specifically?
It was the frontier, the northern edge of their empire, the lines. And crucially, it was at a river crossing. The name they gave it was Trajectum.
Correctum. Sounds like trajectory or something.
It literally means crossing place. And that spot, that ford, made it indispensable. It was a key defensive point, but also, for movement and trade.
So people just kept living there, even after the Romans left.
That's the key. Continuous habitation. It's one of the oldest continuously lived-in spots in the Netherlands because of that location. And Trajectum, over time, morphed into Utrecht.
Fascinating. Okay, Romans go, Middle Ages arrive, things shift. You mentioned earlier it became a spiritual center.
Hugely important shift. This happens around 695 CE. An English missionary, St. Willibrord, he actually sets up his base in Utrecht.
An English missionary. Why Utrecht?
He wanted to convert the Frisians, the people living in the north. Utrecht was strategically positioned for that mission, and it worked.
So this religious mission gave it power.
Immense power. Utrecht effectively became the religious capital for the northern Low Countries. The bishops of Utrecht weren't just clergy, they were powerful rulers with vast territories.
Right, like prince bishops you hear about elsewhere in Europe.
Exactly like that. And this power, this pride, it needed expression. That's where the huge building projects come in.
Ah, the Dom Church.
The Dom Church started in 1254, and especially that massive Dom Tower finished in 1382. You still see it dominating the skyline. It's a direct symbol of that medieval power.
Wow. So from Roman fort to religious powerhouse. But then politics changed, right? The whole landscape of Europe starts shifting. How did Utrecht play a role in forming the Netherlands we know today?
This is arguably Utrecht's biggest moment on the national stage. The Union of Utrecht.
The Union of Utrecht, 1579.
That's the one. Signed right there in the city. It was the agreement where the northern provinces basically said, okay, we're uniting against Spanish rule.
So not just a military pact.
Much more than that. It's really considered the foundation document of the Dutch Republic. The birth certificate, if you will. Without that union, signed in Utrecht, the Netherlands as a country might look very different or might not exist in the same way.
Incredible. It literally founded the nation. Yet, fast forward a bit to the Dutch Golden Age, and Amsterdam is the star. Utrecht, less so economically.
Yeah, that's true. Amsterdam had the ports, the direct access to the sea, the massive international trading companies. Utrecht was more inland. It couldn't really compete on that global merchant scale.
So what did it do? Did it just fade a bit?
It pivoted. It couldn't be the economic engine like Amsterdam, so it leaned into becoming an intellectual and cultural center. The big move was founding Utrecht University in 1636.
Ah, investing in knowledge.
Precisely. Building on its historical status but shifting the focus. That university became, and still is, a major European academic center. It ensured Utrecht remained relevant and, resilient.
Okay, university keeps it important intellectually. But what about physically connecting it to the modern world? Was there a moment for that?
Absolutely, the 19th century. And the key was the railway.
The train station.
Utrecht Central Station opened in 1843. Because Utrecht is so geographically central in the Netherlands, the station didn't just serve the city, it became the hub for the entire country's rail network.
The absolute nerve center.
Still is today. And this cemented its role. Interestingly, while they embraced the railway, they were quite cautious about modernization overall. They did tear down the old medieval walls like many European cities.
Right, for boulevards and space.
But they made a real effort to preserve the historic city center within those new boulevards. It was a balancing act even back then.
Let's jump forward then, 20th century. post-war growth. Utrecht mostly escaped major WWII damage, right? But growth brings its own challenges. How did it handle modernization in the 60s and 70s, especially near that vital station?
That was a really tricky period. The main challenge was connecting the massive, modernizing central station complex with the old medieval core. And, well, their first attempt wasn't exactly a success story.
You mean Who Catherine?
Exactly. The Hoek Catherine shopping mall. Built in the late 60s, early 70s. It was huge, kind of brutalist in style, and designed more for cars and shoppers inside than for connecting with the city outside.
So it created a barrier.
A major one. It effectively cut the station off from the beautiful historic center. Lots of concrete, elevated walkways. It really clashed, and many people felt it damaged the city's character. It was pretty controversial.
Was that a learning moment then? Did the city rethink things after that?
Oh, definitely. It sparked decades of debate about urban planning, about how to grow without destroying the historic fabric. And actually, in the 21st century, there have been huge projects to essentially undo the negative impacts of Who Catherine.
Really? What did they do?
They've reopened canals that were filled in, created more pedestrian-friendly routes, tried to integrate the station and shopping areas much better with the old city. It's been a massive effort to restore that connection, focusing much more now on human scale and, importantly, sustainability.
That brings us neatly to modern Utrecht. This focus on connectivity, knowledge from the university, and now sustainability. What does Utrecht represent today on a bigger stage?
Today, it's really defined by being this high-tech knowledge hub. Central Station is still the busiest in the country, maybe even busier than ever, connecting everywhere.
Domestically and internationally.
Both. And the economy reflects that pivot we talked about earlier. It's strong in education, obviously, healthcare, the UMC, the University Medical Center is huge finance too. But the real cutting edge is the Utrecht Science Park.
Okay, tell us more about the Science Park. We hear biotech and digital tech a lot. What's specific or special about Utrecht?
Well, one really fascinating area is its tight link with the UMC. They're doing world-leading work in regenerative medicine. Think things like organoids, basically tiny 3D mini organs grown from stem cells in a lab.
Wow, like for research and testing.
Exactly. Testing drugs, understanding diseases. This close tie between top-level university research, the hospital, and biotech companies all in one place. That synergy makes it a global player, especially in life sciences and health innovation.
That's a great specific example. And I guess this innovative spirit feeds into the sustainability drive too.
It absolutely does. It's not just talk. It's built into how they plan the city now. Utrecht is famous for its cycling infrastructure. We're talking cycle paths everywhere.
And that enormous bike park near the station.
The world's largest, holds something like 12,500 bikes. It's incredible. But it's also things like promoting green roofs, investing in sustainable energy, really prioritizing walking and cycling over cars in the city center. They're genuinely trying to be a model for a climate-friendly city.
Okay, let's shift from the big picture to actually being there. You mentioned it feels intimate despite its size.
Yeah.
What gives it that unique character physically compared to other Dutch cities?
For me, it's got to be the canals, specifically the Utrecht, the old canal and its wharf system.
Wharf system, how is it different?
So most canals have the water level and then the street level up above. But in Utrecht, along the Utrecht, you have this unique two-level system. There's the street level, yes, but then down at water level, there are wharves, like lower quays. And below the street, built into the canal bank, are these cellars.
Cellars right by the water. What were they for originally?
Storage, mostly. Back in the day, goods could be unloaded directly from boats on the canal into these cellars. Super practical for trade.
That now.
Now, they're one of the city's defining features. Those wharves and cellars have been converted into restaurants, cafes, bars, little shops, artist studios. You can sit right by the water, below street level. It creates this really cozy, almost hidden atmosphere. It's unique to Utrecht.
That sounds amazing. So you've got this unique physical structure and then the university buzz. How does that translate into the cultural life?
It means you get a really interesting mix. On one hand, you have very highbrow, specialized stuff, like the Festival Oud Music, the early music festival. It draws experts from all over the world.
Right, very academic connection there.
But then you also have things like Le Guess Who Festival, which is all about experimental, indie, global sounds, really cutting edge, so it spans the whole spectrum.
And museums, beyond the big church tower.
Oh yeah, there's the Central Museum, which covers city history and art. The Railway Museum is apparently fantastic, fitting for the transport hub city. And a personal favorite recommendation is Museum Spielklok.
Spielklok, what's that?
It's a museum dedicated entirely to self-playing musical instruments. You know, music boxes, player pianos, huge street organs. It's quite magical, actually.
It sounds incredibly charming. It does seem like all these elements, the history, the canals, the university, the culture, add up to a high quality of life. Is that the perception?
Definitely. Utrecht consistently ranks really high on livability indexes. People point to the safety, the historic charm, obviously the good education and healthcare with the university and UMC. But I think the key is the balance.
Balance how?
It feels cosmopolitan. It has everything you need from a big city, but it's manageable. It doesn't have that overwhelming scale or, frankly, the intense tourism pressure you find in Amsterdam. It feels more livable.
Okay, practical advice time. If someone listening is thinking, right, I want to experience this, what's the best way to explore Utrecht like a local?
Number one advice, get on a bike. Seriously.
Non-negotiable.
Pretty much. The city is compact enough to walk, definitely, but cycling is just how it's done. The infrastructure is amazing, it's flat, and you'll cover more ground and fit right in. You can rent them easily.
Okay, rented a bike. Navigating the Dutch bike lanes can be intense for newcomers. Any safety tips?
Yes. Rule number one, cyclists have the right of way, and they expect you to know that. Don't just wander into a bike lane, look left, look right, then look left again. Seriously.
They move fast.
They do, and there are lots of them, especially around the station or university areas. You really don't want to cause a bike jam or, worse, an accident. Just be aware, be predictable, and yield to the bikes.
Sound advice. Okay, we've cycled, we've explored those amazing wharves, we're hungry. What's the food scene like?
It's great, really diverse. You can find all the Dutch classics. Of course, get a proper stroopwafel fresh from a market stall. Try some bitterballen with a drink.
Can't go wrong there.
But because it's a university city and quite international, you also have fantastic global food. Lots of great Indonesian places, Middle Eastern food, you name it. And eating down in one of those wharf cellars by the canal is a must-do experience.
What about drinks? Coffee, beer?
Thriving scenes for both, lots of cool independent coffee shops fueled by the student population, and a really good craft beer scene too. Look out for local breweries like De Lekker is a well-known Utrecht one.
Any final quick tips for a first-timer landing in Utrecht?
Let's see. English is spoken everywhere exceptionally well, so communication is rarely an issue. The tap water is perfectly safe and actually tastes good. And remember, much of the charming historic center is pedestrian or bike-focused, so comfortable walking shoes are essential. Forget about driving in the center.
Perfect. Well, this has been brilliant. It feels like we've really uncovered the layers of Utrecht, from Roman crossing point to the political birthplace of the Netherlands, and now this engine of transport and innovation.
It really does blend it all.
To wrap up, it seems Utrecht offers this incredibly authentic Dutch experience. That deep history combined with a really youthful, forward-looking vibe, but without the sheer volume of crowds you get elsewhere. It's a compelling mix.
It is, and thinking about its journey, from being the place where the Union of Utrecht literally founded the Republic, to now being the nation's absolute center for transport connectivity and increasingly knowledge-based innovation like at the Science Park.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, has its role evolved? Is Utrecht, as this central connector and brain hub, now arguably more influential in shaping the future direction of the Netherlands than perhaps even the traditional economic powerhouses that once overshadowed it? Something to think about.